Oh, well, perfect timing.
Well, welcome. Today we are throwing back. Not just throwing back.
I wish I was thrown back.
Not just in some sense of the word.
I could throw it all back.
This is such a nostalgic sound right here.
I can't hear it because the TV's turned down, but everyone else can. I don't have that fond of memories of this. We had this game, and I played it a bunch back when games were nothing more than moving pictures to me. I think as a somewhat more informed player of video games, the platformer is something I've never grasped. I was too young when these games were a thing to engage with them on the level that they were intended to be engaged with. I was basically just like, hey, moving pictures and funny noises. I was not old enough to grasp the finer points of platformer design.
Like the bear suit?
I don't know that qualifies. I think that's just for fun. No other games have followed up with the Tanuki cosplay as a gameplay mechanic. I think it's niche at best. There's a palpable fatigue in this opening.
Okay, well, that actually was a fairly good way of wrapping it up.
Yep, that's it. Bye, everyone.
Bye. No, we're doing we're gonna somewhat attempt to do a bit of a year in the life of recap, and
You're in the life of what?
year in the life of a
wannabe
YouTube personality.
Which I don't know which one of those which of this that describes. Hopefully neither.
I don't know.
These blocks always reminded me of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I would agree, except that they're infinitely more obnoxious.
You asked for that.
I did.
You ate it too. Well, I trust you had a good year. Tell you the truth, Mr. Bank Manager, we're broke.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling.
Was the first level always this short?
Yeah.
That's another reason I don't. I'll tell you, the one thing I remember about this game fondly is the desert map background music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that this one? I thought that was one of the later ones. I can't hear it again. Maybe it is this one. I thought there was a more overtly deserty. When the sun tries to hurt you.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Those are the ones that had the deserty background music for the map screen.
Oh, you could do that, or you could just...
Wow.
That was sad.
Not really. It's cathartic, actually.
No, I have come to realize, unfortunately through personal experience of one of my dear friends...
Doesn't get any better, does it?
That...
That mushroom
I suck
didn't
at this game.
That mushroom doesn't follow physics at all.
That I have... We've talked a bit about the dangers of AI, but we've never talked about the social devastation that it will undoubtedly bring.
Well, Butlerian jihad. I'm all for it.
What?
You're not enough of a nerd to catch my elite references.
Wow.
The people will know.
My issue is, so I have a friend that has...
Turns out he's an AI.
Well,
I had a friend. Turns out he's not real.
He's making art to some degree, or at least putting content out there, but it's 95 to almost 100% AI, and I go, I have to take issue with that. Like, that's...
Well, take issue on what level? Because, I mean, you can't stop people from doing it. I don't know what you thought was going to happen.
Well, a broken brick would be superior to just
Well,
sitting
you can't
in
break
its
them when
spot.
you're small.
You can, absolutely.
No, you got to be big to break the bricks.
Well,
At least those ones I seem to have a memory.
I don't know.
You can't stop people from doing it, but I do think you're allowed to judge and just be like, okay, I don't consider this to be art at this point.
Well, and that's, I guess, my issue is it's a bit of the, like, what part about that makes it less art? Because, you know, Ayn Rand's argument is as long as it communicates something that it, what is it that she talks about? Like, essentially...
All the trees outside are shedding their leaves at once.
Essentially, if it speaks to you...
This is not Ayn Rand's argument.
Well...
Ayn Rand's argument
so
is actually incredibly limited, which is one of the reasons I respected it.
Well, it's limited in what way?
Basically, she gives a very technical, boring definition that a lot of artistic people reject because it sounds too clinical. But I'm like, yeah, but it's also the only thing that gives art any meaning. If you don't like this definition, then you're open to everything being art. And then there's going to be some people who are for that and a lot of people who aren't. But basically, it has to be a recreation of reality that conveys the artist's worldview. And that's the most basic terminology. Recreation of reality meaning it has to be a representation of a thing in a medium, which obviously means it could be a painting or a sculpture or a whatever.
But my thing about that is, wouldn't AI art represent
No,
that?
because there's no worldview being communicated, because there
could be.
No, well, I suppose, okay.
But see, this is
but see, then that would be more than just, hey, generate an image of this. That would have to, you'd actually have to be telling...
No, I'm talking books, music...
Yeah, but I'm saying I've had AI write a story, and they're very insipid and they mean nothing.
I agree, but at the same
So there's
time,
no worldview
people buy
being
them.
communicated. No, but no. So my point is, if you wanted it to be, okay, I'm trying to create an image that I want to convey a emotion, you as the person have to describe to the computer the emotion you want to convey, at which point you're, I suppose...
But...
It's a merging of artificial and human at that point because the computer's not making all the decisions anymore. You're giving it guidance.
Here's where I take issue with it. As somebody who, especially on the music level, because the reason this hit me recently is because this individual has been doing this for quite some time on a literary level, and I took issue with it, but it was like, okay. I took issue with it, but it was like...
Oh, does this preserve the life?
Here.
I don't want none of this.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I'm giving you your time to shine. Normally, I'm the one who hogs the remote. And again, whoa!
I did this intentionally.
Oh, this was your idea.
Well, we're not only doing that. I'm just
Why wouldn't we?
I'm gadding about with other stuff.
Now you've revealed that we're pirates.
I don't care.
Well, in case anyone's curious, this is his machine, so all of this piracy is not my doing. There is, in fact, a gun to my head right now. I'm under duress, officer. Well, see, the problem with the switching is that it freaks out the recording every time.
It doesn't seem to.
Well, we're just hoping that it comes back. What? Universal?
I didn't realize that Universal was a part of this. That's interesting.
What even is this?
Spyro.
I didn't realize that Insomniac did Spyro. They're still kicking. Kicking a dead horse, if I understand correctly, but they are kicking.
I guess where I take issue with it, especially
That
on the
water's
music
not
level,
moving.
is there is an element of pain that is required, or
Okay, no, this is you being one of those sensitive artists I talked about.
No, I'm not talking about the sensitivity.
Well, there's nothing about music that makes it any more artistically painful than any other art form.
No. What I'm saying is, in the same way, okay, so let's go to something like book writing.
I also don't think it needs to be
There is a degree
pain.
of rigor and of
Not necessarily. Sometimes
effort
people just
and
spit
of-
stuff out because they
yeah,
are
but
good.
that's when it okay, but good in what way?
Well, just because
They're
they're gifted.
Painstakingly, like
No.
intentional about what
Okay,
the words you're
intentional, I
using.
don't disagree there, but that doesn't mean it's always like a
so
painful
maybe
experience.
intentionality or like
Well, again, it has to communicate
craftsmanship,
it has
like-
it has to communicate the artist's point of view.
well, and I think you've talked about this within the context of
Wow, I don't remember this game looking this janky. It was PlayStation 1.
You've talked about this within the context of like, hey, you have to have real stuff rather than things that are claiming
I've said
to be,
this from the
you
very
know-
beginning, and people thought I was being dramatic.
Oh, I actually have a load. I forgot about that.
Total load, pant load.
But
People thought I was a radical when I talked about faux countertops and drywall, but now AI's come and proved my point.
well, and I think the reason is because I go, there's no, even if you're AI, what they're doing is essentially taking a
The adventure continues.
collective
What?
of the substance, and they're saying,
What's an amalgamation, really? It's just
yeah,
saying
exactly. And
Okay.
then they're saying, this is what,
we searched a bunch of images that match the description you gave, and we've conglomerated them into
or
something.
read a bunch of stories, and now we're writing some sort of stupidly ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and all they're ever going to be is as generic as the stories that it has access
Well,
to.
but that bothers me just because
Why? Because I can assure you a human could have produced just as bad, if not worse, a story.
you think so.
Absolutely. I'd like to point out that Hallmark exists. What Hallmark is the pre-AI of Christmas movies.
Well, but it shouldn't exist.
Well, I don't think so, but it doesn't stop people from watching it. So, I think that cactus is alive, and I think you're doing
it
some
is.
kind of heinous act to it. You're going to end up on some kind of a wanted poster in the Cactus Kingdom. Wanted for serial immolation and attempted molestation. What does this even achieve?
Sometimes it will give you.
It occurred to me that just a minute ago I said the cactus was alive as though that would be an unusual circumstance. Didn't occur to me that plants do qualify as alive. I meant like a creature. Ooh. Okay, I didn't think we were going to get into this. I thought we were going to talk about a year in review, but I guess we're talking about, I guess it's been the year of this phenomenon,
Which
so I suppose
dragon
we're
am I getting?
reviewing.
I forgot about this. Conan.
Oh, the barbarian.
Thank you for releasing me.
Or the talk show host. That would be hilarious, actually. You know what? That's what I want now. I'm going to use AI to create a vintage-style platform in which you go around rescuing various TV
Personalities.
talk show hosts from the early 2000s. And the final boss will be, of course, Craig Ferguson. The GOAT, as the kids these days might say. Or the kids a couple years ago might have said, back when I cared.
I don't know. I can't with the. I just.
Well, see, here's the thing: is I've shown you things that are AI songs or videos that are funny,
Yes.
and you don't take issue with those. So is it
Here's-
simply the idea they're
it's
saying?
an ownership issue. So
yeah.
my friend.
So people who think that it's like, hey, I did this for a laugh, that's what
Right.
AI is good for.
Well, that's what AI is good
But if you're
for,
going to
and
say, I'm now an artist because I've done something, it's like, no, yeah, actually the computer's done everything.
and that's
and-
where I take issue. Like, I don't
Okay.
think it's right to say.
Well, what do you?
I'm trying not to get into it too aggressively.
What's with the
but
purple Kool-Aid?
It's,
Does this hurt you? Oh, so it does hurt,
It forces me to
but it sucks you
confess
in.
my sins and be a part of whatever that. What was the?
I
what
have
was
no
the
clue where you're going with
religious
this.
group and that drank the Kool-Aid.
I don't think it had anything to do with sins.
Oh, of course not. I was trying to.
I forget them too, but I don't. Yeah, you threw me for a loop for a second there. Forces me to confess my sins. I was like, what? I don't know. It seems like you got to just tell your friend that you don't respect him as an artist.
Let's see. Because here's my thing. Publicly, it's like, I've done this, and I'm a writer, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
I just can't do it.
Well, I'd like to point out that pretty much everyone agrees with you on this.
Do they though? Because the
Yeah.
common, here's the thing.
I mean, I think some
The
people are a little bit too
commonality-
pushy about non-AI because some people act as though it's some kind of sin.
I'm not suggesting that. It's like you said, it's worth the laugh. That's what it's for. But
Well,
it's not.
It's not what it's for, but that is what it's.
But I'm saying it's
It's
not
unobjectable
meant,
to use it for that reason.
It's not meant to be like, hey, I now.
You
get
haven't.
to say,
You haven't accomplished anything.
You
if
haven't achieved anything. Yeah, exactly. And that's, I guess, what I'm saying by pain is that there is a degree of effort. Maybe effort is the better word. Or striving.
Craftsmanship.
Like you said, striving. Yeah, or craftsmanship.
Because it doesn't make something good simply because you worked hard on it. That's
true, but
it's more of just did you put the effort into, or did you? What's the word I'm looking for?
doggone it.
A certain level of. Wow, it's escaping me repeatedly. Discretion's not the word, but it's similar. That's a synonym of what I'm going for. Essentially, again, you're going back to the Ayn Rand definition. You have to communicate a sort of taste is also another word, but I'm not being able to find the word I meant. Basically, you're having to communicate some kind of a judgment and or aesthetic stance.
Stance is a good word.
Basically, you're communicating a
Position.
standard.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really blanking. I've never had a word elude me this badly.
Like standard? Is that what you're saying?
No, basically my point is you're having to exercise a level of craftsmanship that has to add up. And so even if you put a lot of work into it, if you just have bad taste and you're not capable of a good thing.
Then it's just a matter of like the
then
overall
it's just, yeah, you're not-
society judging your art. And at that point,
Well, but see,
it's
that's where I'm going.
more-
The AI does the same thing. Where you're just going.
It does, but there's
The only
more-
way it can produce
there's
compelling
more human
stuff.
substance to that.
Well,
to
that's what I'm
say-
saying. Because I know there are people who use AI collaboratively, where they're essentially using it as a tool to generate certain things, but the content is still from them.
Right.
So they'll write a thing, and then they have an AI software turn it into visuals, but the writing is the thing that's from them, and you can tell that when you watch it. And so it's like, okay, in that case, it's not a completely AI generated thing. It's a amalgamation. It's a collaboration between a human author and
But
an AI
I would
visual
certainly
software.
suggest that it's not a gestalt, meaning it's not. I don't think the sum of the two parts become better than the.
I mean,
individual
I
parts
think if you're
themselves.
trying to do, for example, some people have done interesting storyboard ideas where it's like, I've written the thing and I've just had the AI turn it into visuals. I do think that makes it better than the writing alone because it helps give, again, it's like a storyboard. It helps gives you an idea of what it's meant to look like. But, so I mean, I do think it can add, but that same thing produced by quality animators or director would be probably better than it could be with just AI visuals and a human writer. So if you're simply trying to augments something you have already put the work into,
correct.
That
if
I
you're
think
if you're supplementing, yes, and
whereas if it's
Even-
doing the work and you're being the supplement, that's the problem.
or not even the supplement, but just I don't even know what the
Well, I mean, I guess if you're suggesting
user, quite literally. I mean, like this is where I just go, no, that makes the whole situation uncomfortable.
Well, see, I don't find it uncomfortable. I don't
do
think
not find it distasteful. To me, it's like okay, to call yourself an artist after using AI is distasteful.
I would just consider it to be untrue. It's
Well,
not even.
right.
It's not even that it's necessarily
It's a
distasteful.
falsehood.
It's just like it's just not true. So I don't even really take offense. I mean, I suppose it would depend on how insistent. Because if it was just like, oh yeah, I made a thing, and that's it. But if it's like, oh yes, I'm a New York Times best-selling author now, it's like, well, no. That I would object to, and I suppose I would find it more distasteful the more insistent or the more vehement that was claimed. More vehemently that was claimed.
The extremity of the claim, or the.
I'm saying,
or the
however, if someone was
commitment
if someone, that's what I'm saying. If someone was insistent that they it actually counts, then the more they insisted, the more I would find it distasteful. But if it's just simply that they've done it, it's like, well, okay, you can call yourself whatever you want. Doesn't mean you are that. I suppose it's like if the homeless man up the street wants to call himself King Tut, I don't care. Now, if he's up in my face demanding that I worship him or something, yeah, okay, I'm going to care then. But it doesn't matter to me if he wants to live in a delusion. It only matters to me if if he's trying to force me into his delusion. Is this a thing you're supposed to do?
Back here, you stupid.
You're supposed to chase that guy from Monsters and Aliens?
He's
Looks like a blob of jello.
He's a magician, and it gives you some sort of thing, and I can't.
Is it really this hard to walk in a straight line?
Yes, when you're moving this quickly in this game, yes, it is. Although
that ain't a man. That's a blob of jello. Seriously, looks like the guy from Monsters vs. Aliens.
Get your butt to my face. No.
Now we know what you're into.
Oh, I won't deny it.
So, is this all we're going to... Is this...
Well, I was
your
gonna
year in
just
review
get
is
this
AI?
done quickly. No, year in review is just me. Listen, I have a really hard time with
Ooh, come
your
on.
butt not being on my. No, I lost him.
What, the butt on your nose specifically? Now that's painting a too detailed a picture for me. To have preferences is one thing. That level of description I'm not comfortable with.
I just think that
Are there clams in this
the biggest
game?
thing I find
Out of sea clams?
I think that my previous statement is really probably the most honest. I just find it distasteful. I find it
Well, fair enough.
on a class level, it is classless to say, oh, based on AI, I have done this, and now I'm like, it's a bit like putting on a facade of class and whatever else.
Yeah, there's always been people who do that.
Yeah, but I don't appreciate those that put on airs. That's always been...
Okay. I don't disagree with you, but I don't think you're going to convince anybody because most of the people already agree with you. And those that don't never will, so...
I don't...
I think some people are a little bit too cagey about AI. But
In what way?
generally, the broad consensus is that everyone would agree that, yeah, this doesn't count. What even are those things?
Big tubby guys. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
that's
exactly
descriptive.
know inherently what you're supposed to do in Spyro. I just tend to
okay,
wander
that's
around and
interesting.
get things done in that.
Well, how do you know you're getting things done if you don't know what you're doing?
I mean, I know your basic objective is to find the dragons that are frozen, and you got to go and
Find
rescue
the
them or
late night
whatever.
show hosts.
Yeah, but I don't like. There's not really a clear. I've never been somebody who understands the maps of Spyro very well. I just tend to wander about until I find my way.
Well, that's how you do things in life. Well, what's your favorite AI-generated thing of this year, since I'm trying to tie this back somehow?
Well, and also...
I'll tell you, here's a news-related thing. I'm very sad to announce to no one in particular, mostly to you, I guess, because you're the only person I know who knows. The TK42 Greg guy got struck by Disney because they're a bunch of dicks.
Why?
Because it's Disney property now.
I'm asking what their argument was.
Oh, it's because it's copyright. That's plain and simple. I'll tell you, it gets scummier than that, actually. That's the generous definition. The worst part of it is they're trying to partner with one particular AI company, provider, visual, whatever, and license their characters to them so that anyone who wants to create AI-generated images of Disney copyright characters has to use that service.
What?
And then that means that anyone who uses that service has to pay for that service, and Disney gets a cut, basically. So it's actually scummier than just copyright. We're not gonna, because I could understand it if a company was like, hey, we are taking a moral stance on AI because that's the popular thing to do, and we don't want our characters represented in this way. So any AI representations, we're gonna strike. It's like, okay, perhaps using a bit of a broad brush, but I could at least understand that. But they don't have a problem with you using AI to create content using their characters. They just want they just want to cut. Literally is what it is. It's not just, it's copyright. It's like, no, we want you to use this particular service so that we can charge every time you do this.
It's not unlike them, though. I mean.
Oh, no, it's not. But it's still sad. Because he would have been my vote for the funniest AI-related thing that I saw this year was him. And that's a shame. Because I was genuinely...
What is his response? I mean, like, has he...
his channel is still up. It's just he's had to remove all those videos. Which is a shame, because I intended to download them. And I have now missed my chance. If anyone has already downloaded them and has some torrents available, I couldn't get them on the Internet Archive, and that's the only thing I know how to check. So if there's other ways of getting a hold of them, I could reach out to him directly and just be like, hey, I promise I won't upload these again. I just really want them for myself. Because I thought they were funny, and they're better Star Wars than most of what Disney has produced, in all honesty. So that's probably the other reason, although I kind of doubt that. I don't even think Disney has that much pride in what they do anymore. Some people are saying, it's because they're embarrassed at the fact that these people doing, using AI are actually making better stuff than they have. I'm like, that would require a soul.
Well, that would require also awareness.
That would require some self-awareness to be like, I'm embarrassed that we can't produce as good a stuff as our fans can produce. It's like, I actually think only an artist would find that embarrassing. And I don't think Disney is that anymore. I think it is literally just, we don't care that people are doing it. We just want to get paid for them doing it. And that's even more cynical.
That's true.
Anyways, why would there be these bizarre turbines in this presumably a fantasy dragon world?
Well, because
I guess they're turbines that harness power for gemstones. Is this a Skyrim thing where we're using gemstones as a form of magical energy?
It's not far from that, really. Do I have the key to this one? I thought I maybe did. Have you played this game?
Not really. I have seen it played at other people's houses when I was a child, because that was how you used to that was how you experienced games you didn't own, is you watched somebody else play them. And I don't remember
just what we're doing tonight.
And I don't remember it being one of those ones that I was like, ooh, can I have a turn? Because I'm not sure I would have been compelled in the same way that I'm not now.
I love this.
I'll tell you what compels me is that little hip sway he does when he starts flying.
That really makes it interesting, isn't it?
So anyways, yeah, Disney being a bunch of corporate schlongs, and nobody is surprised.
Is that?
I'll tell you, the runner-up would have gone to that Lord of the Rings AI reggae guy.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Those are... See, the thing about the TK42 Greg stuff, though...
you will...
The thing about him that was great is he was one of those people who actually wrote those scripts. You could tell. He actually wrote the stuff himself, and then the computer just generates the images, which, with a Stormtrooper, it's like, okay, there's not... He wouldn't have been emoting anyway, so it's not like you're losing a human face or like human emotion when you're just generating a guy wearing a helmet all the time. In some ways, that almost adds to the humor of it. And what actually makes it the human part of it is the writing, which was done by the actual guy. So that's an instance where it's like, yes, it's meant for humor, but it isn't actually just dumb. Like the AI Lord of the Rings reggae, I would never recommend to someone as like quality art by any means.
No,
it's literally stupid and funny, and that's why it's.
But he
I
also
like
doesn't claim to be an artist.
Well, I don't know what the man claims at all. I think it's obvious that it's AI generated, and I don't think he hides from that.
But that's my point.
But the
If
TK42
you
Greg stuff,
say,
it's like I would
hey,
actually genuinely, if there was if I was bootlegging my own Disney, bootlegs, for lack of a better, I don't know.
If I was bootlegging a bootleg,
If I was bootlegging Disney material, that's the kind of stuff I would put as like an actual bonus feature. Like, here's just your fun little 5-minute snippets of TK42 Greg.
So, what TK42 did?
I'd put those on like on a separate bonus disc.
He strapped a cannon to bootlegs.
So those I would genuinely recommend people watch because I think they are actually somewhat artistically valid, if only because I think they managed to capture the spirit of the Star Wars universe in a fun way, and they're just funny. But not in a, this is dumb AI funny, but like, no, it's actually human funny that is, again, enhanced by AI visuals. Because honestly, that's the kind of thing where I don't know that it would have been improved had any of that been live action. Because again, it's just people wearing stormtrooper suits. So yes, it could have been done, but it would have cost way more and not probably actually added all that much, in my opinion, because the dialogue is what's funny. I suppose maybe you could say the delivery could have been better. Because it is, as far as I understand, an AI-generated voice as well. But I don't know if it's completely from scratch or whether it's... My guess is it's probably the guy, whoever writes it, also reads it, and then it's just an AI overlay on top of that to make it sound like it's coming from the helmet. Because that you can do, and then you can still get the right inflections, and all it's really doing is adding a vocal quality. I don't know. He would have been my runner-up, and for anyone who didn't see it before they got taken down, that's a shame. I got to be more proactive about being a digital hoarder.
So that you can just randomly poke.
Well, because the thing is, I meant to download those because I was genuinely like, I would keep those in my Star Wars folders.
Sure.
Of like, here's where I've got the Star Wars movies and some Star Wars shows, and then here's a little bonus disc of funny Stormtrooper guy. But I took too long to do it, and now I won't have the chance unless somebody's already done it for me, which is a shame. You do that. I see that on YouTube a lot too, where it's like I actually have a playlist on YouTube that's like, okay, things I found that I want to download so I can keep, but I'm not routine enough on it. So sometimes when I go there to be like, oh, some of these videos have been removed, I'm like, so people say when things are online, they're on there forever, and that is a gross miscalculation. I think we vastly overestimate the capacity of the internet. I think we always have.
True statement.
Because people also have always been like, oh, the internet has the full sum of all human knowledge, and then it was like, that's not even true. I mean, I don't think it's literally true. I think, and again, who knows if this is a true statistic, but if something like 80% of things humans have produced are still not on the internet because they're in old antique library, things, books that have never even been translated to English, much less digitized. But then, even the stuff that is there, the internet's not at all good at parsing it out when you want it. So, a certain level of curation is still necessary.
Well, but isn't that again? I suppose I guess I'm. How
He was. Wow, this is a butt-centric game.
loves butts.
You cannot lie.
Does it mean your
What's
butt to
with
my
the
butt,
badger
or-
wearing a COVID mask?
What?
What am I supposed to take from this?
Harry the badger with a COVID mask.
Actually, no. His head's been embedded in a block of ice. I'll tell you, those sprites are crude. His eyes are literally two flat panels. He doesn't have a 3D head. He has a 2D face on a 3D body that just vaguely motions around. I'm being a little bit cruel. I don't actually care that much about graphics, but it is funny to look back on them now.
Speaking of good art,
AI can't do it.
I'm not talking about AI anymore because I'm about to jump ship into
Oh, okay.
something that's way better.
Well, let's do that then.
I have been watching intentionally this year, so this is a bit of a year recap.
Oh, intentionally. You watch things unintentionally sometimes?
No, I have been purposing to
You watch things without purpose sometimes?
watch any mob movie really that is.
Have you watched Black Mass yet?
I have not watched Black Mass yet. That one has come up quite a few times on my search list.
It's really only good because of Johnny Depp, but then
Couple
again, so
things.
are a lot of things he's in.
So I watched. I'm a fairly like. I grew up with slapstick being in my family and all this kind of stuff as far as what we watched. So during Christmas time we
But you're going to
watch.
say just in your family.
So during Christmas time we watch Home Alone, and in that movie, for those of you guys that have watched it, you will know this, but they have a movie that he watches both in the first one and the second one, although I think it's two different versions of the movie that are that's essentially a mob movie that he's watching in the movie called Angels with Filthy Souls. And I found out that it's based on a real mob movie from the 1930s, I believe. It was 1938. And so I went and actually found it and watched it. It's called Angels with Dirty Faces. And it is where all of the caricatures that we get of mob movies come from, easily. It's actually a very decent movie for being as old as it is, and yet, like, it ends.
Sounds a little bit patronizing, don't you think?
No, my point is, it ends. It's akin to a lot of the things that you see in modern kind of mob stories where they always end up not making it in the end. Oh, good gravy. But in this one, the way that they cause him not to make it the main character is quite unique and almost makes it redeeming at the end. Like it's an interesting thing.
How do you find such things that old?
By looking for them. What do you mean?
I mean, they're not always easy to find from that age.
Well, that's true, I suppose. What?
I mean, I guess it depends on how famous it was. If it was famous enough to have copies somewhere. Because I'll tell you, the most obscure film I ever watched was a bizarre, it wasn't that bizarre, but I mean, it was a old German black and white movie from 1934.
Called what?
Called the Master of the World. It's about robots. The reason I watched it is because I was fascinated by it being such an old movie with what seems kind of like a modern premise about robots taking over the world. And I literally had to find it on, of all places, the Internet Archive again was the only place I could find it. Yeah. Because it's like that of course it never got released in America. I'm not even confident that it would, I don't know if it was ever sold in surviving copies even in Germany. But anyway.
I also watched The Bronx Tale recently. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
No.
That one is fantastic.
And it is a what? A show? A movie?
It's a movie about
a prostitute in the Bronx.
Wow. We're really just channeling into the whole butt thing, aren't we?
I'm just saying, Bronx Tale could mean a lot of things. If you go to a guy in Bronx and ask him for some tail, what do you think he's going to tell you?
He'll probably tell you to shove off.
Oh
like
my!
This guy. Oh
that
dear!
was suggestive.
That was the wrong angle that happened.
See, I'm
just
imagining
now.
actually the opposite. If you talk to the right guy, it'd be like there was a thing. It was a story about how there was some federal agent in Prohibition times who traveled to several U.S. cities to find out how quickly he could find booze. And he said the record was set by none other than, what would you guess? Don't think too
Torn
hard
between
because it's
Las
obvious.
Vegas and you're talking about cities?
Yes, major U.S. cities.
Either Las Vegas or New York. One or the
Oh,
other.
no, you're way off. It's New Orleans. The record was 30 seconds.
That's
Because
actually.
he asked the cab driver, hey, do you know where I could get some booze? And the cab driver gave him a bottle and said, right here.
That's kind of awesome.
So I'm just saying, if you go to Queen, or if you go to the Bronx and ask for some tail, you never know who's going to respond.
All I'm saying is it's essentially about a kid that lives adjacent to the mob but isn't actually a part of the mob, and he grows up with them. Well, then I come to find out, as I did some research on this movie, the director, or the guy that
Is the kid?
is the actual kid,
Oh,
and it
that's
was a
fun.
real story.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I was like, this is fascinating.
What's the diegetic explanation for all these portals to other universes here?
I actually don't remember.
Because, like, it was stretched a little bit thin in Banjo-Kazooie, but at least it was an argument like, oh, yeah, this is the witch's lair, and she's got all these pocket dimensions. But, like, is this just the way the world in Spyro is?
Yeah,
There's just...
essentially.
You walk around and there's portals to other places? Well, okay.
There
Well-
he is again. Get him! I'm gonna get him.
you have to do this in every level?
Get him! Well, they're common.
You know what he also has given me vibes of is Aquadad. Not Aquadad, Octodad.
Aquadad. You absolute bag.
I think that's what he's trying to show you is his absolute bag.
His absolute. That actually is what they say.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
That's what they. If the sound was up right now, you'd hear that.
Oh,
That
I
is
thought you were saying something about the absolute bag.
Look at my absolute bag.
It's like, yeah, talk to your little fairy companion. It goes, oh, watch out for his absolute bag. You big bag hole. All right. Well, anyways,
I don't like
I don't even know what movies I've watched this year. What would you say is one of those movie you'd be like, that was the best thing I saw?
Bronx Tale comes close. Hey, I'm making progress. Here we get to watch
You
one
saw
of the.
you saw some Bronx Tale and it was the best thing?
Yeah. Tale in the Bronx really is the best. No, I have not yet watched Pulp Fiction. I started the first 10 minutes of it. Have you seen that one?
No, I know of it, and I know that it's
It's considered
Tarantino
apparently
has-
a mob movie. You
I don't agree
twit with
necessarily.
an A.
Well, okay, I guess I don't know enough about it. The thing about Tarantino is I find him a touch too much at times.
I touched too much.
But
All right, I'm gonna touch this dragon.
oh,
Release him.
This
from his
one's Kimmel.
fiery- This is
Oh.
Cosmo.
that's not as funny.
Welcome to my crafters. I want you to release them.
What was I going to say? No, I don't think it would necessarily. I don't know the plot, but I thought he was is he a mob hitman, or I thought he was just a contract hitman?
In Pulp?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a mob hitman.
Oh, I thought he was just like a hired, like a
No, it's
mercenary
like
hitman.
they work specifically for the mob.
Oh, well, okay, then I guess that technically means it counts.
I
I don't know. Tarantino, my issue with him is that there's mature and then there's edgy. And edgy stuff, while attempting to be mature, actually sometimes come across as the most immature.
That's very true.
And so that's kind of my issue is it's like you push things just a little bit too much, and now I'm like, okay, this is actually just childish. It's attempting to be adult, and all it manages to achieve is to be childish. Anyway, so no, I have not seen it because that's why. What have I even watched this year? I tell you, I've watched a whole lot more than I've read. I'm disappointed in myself for what I've read this year.
What have you read?
Hardly anything.
Well, okay, so you're disappointed in what you haven't read.
I suppose that would be a better way of putting it, yes.
Disappointed in what you've read. I'm just terribly disappointed that I read the...
I read 50 Shades of Grey. I've never forgiven myself. Alrighty, what did I watch?
This year I actually read both the Art of War. I reread that rather because it had been a while, and then the Five Rings. That one is good. I found that more useful than the Art of War. Believe it or not.
That seems to be the opinion a lot of people say.
Because it's more individualized.
I am looking back
I also
through
found out
this.
this year that Dostoevsky apparently, according to
He's got a new book
analysis... Wow, no.
Dostoevsky, still going.
He's writing him in his grave through AI.
Well, you could probably do that. I don't want to live in such a world, though.
Exactly. He was an INFJ, apparently.
See, I don't trust the people who say these things because there's no way you could know that.
Well, I agree.
What that means is some psychologist has read his stuff and thinks that about him.
Yes, because they're probably INFJs.
Yeah, it's like some people have tried it, and it does come across a lot of times as like self-insert. Because sometimes you can see it, but then sometimes I'm like, that's just because that's what you are, and you want to think that you're like him. Let's see. Looking back, I don't know that I'm all that. None of these I'm remembering as like, oh, that was a great one. Let's see. I won't rely on my current memory. Let me see here's what I like about Letterboxd. Sponsor me, please. Is I like the fact that I can actually sort by films I watched this year and sort them by my highest rating. Well, that doesn't mean it'll do it. I don't know why it didn't do that. No, I didn't say average rating. I said my rating. That's why. Okay. Nothing broached or breached 3.5 stars for me this year. It would
Wow. That's saying something about this year, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not necessarily like these are new. These aren't like films that came out this year. These are just films I watched this year. What, you giving up again?
No, I'm not giving up. I'm just doing other things. I'm trying to keep things
Yeah,
fresh.
that's what you millennials always say.
What are you on about?
I'm being socio-political.
Gen Alpha.
I am not. I'm just saying that was a funny.
You're probably more squarely millennial than I am.
No, I am firmly in the Gen Z camp. I am the king of the Gen Z.
I am the conductor of the Gen Z.
I am to the Gen Z. I am like an elder.
There it is.
Oh, I am one of the elder Gen Z. When there's a council, when we take over the rest of the world, I'm going to be on a council, I think. But anyways, I'm just saying that the way you phrased that was poignant for the times. I'm not giving up. I'm just doing something else with my life. Let's see. What was the worst thing I watched this year? That's more interesting. Ooh, I'm gonna upset some film hipsters. My lowest rated film of 2025 was weird.
Tron.
No, barely not. We're only a half star off, but it was a half star worse.
Which?
So there is again, I'm going to offend some internet hipsters. Russian filmmaker whose name escapes me. Let's see, what was it? Hang on. Oh, come now. Andrei Tarkovsky. Famous for being... He's the Russian Kurosawa, if you know what that means. Or Basically, he is a renowned of director from this country in this era for unique and interesting films.
Okay.
So people usually compare him to like Akira Kurosawa or Ingmar Bergman or a bunch of famous old school directors from various places that were kind of niche and weird but interesting. And so the film was Stalker, which is what I've often seen people recommend as like the first film you should watch of his. I just couldn't get into it. And it's highly rated and whatnot, and I couldn't get into it. But yeah, Tron was only a half star above that. So I didn't hate Tron, I just didn't love it. I don't typically find myself hating movies. A movie would have to be really exceptionally bad for me to hate it. Even then, it would have to be really exceptionally bad and also like part of a franchise I would have otherwise liked. Like what Disney's done to Star Wars. Just to bring back up. That's the kind of thing that would make me actually hate a film, because it's like, not only is this crap, but it's crap that, like, it craps on stuff that used to be good. I don't have, let's see, what's the highest? I have several in the highest. They're all 3.5s. Yeah, but see, none of these are standing out. Now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah, these were good, but 3.5 seems fair. None of these is like, oh, that should have been higher. If I had to pick a favorite movie that I watched this year, I don't know, it's kind of hard. I won't necessarily use this as a metric of quality. Because sometimes films that stick in your mind they don't stick in your mind because they're good, but more just because you found them interesting on a personal level. I'll tell you some of these films that I remember, like, oh yeah, I remember watching that and enjoying it. Was one of them's called Perfect Days. It was bizarrely enough, a German-Japanese like collaborative film. It's all Japanese cast, but the director is German, which was an interesting thing. It's a very kind of
like that goes together culturally, but okay.
I mean, I won't explain the one obvious way it could, but I assure you the film's not about that. I'm just saying there is a link to be had. But it's not relevant to the film.
I met his friends.
The other film I remember more fondly from this list was bizarre. Again, I don't know. It's called Finest Kind, and it's a weird. I couldn't possibly describe it because it's one of those films that seems like it would be kind of boring because it's just about random regular people, but it's just well done. So. Castle of Cagliostro was kind of fun. I still am occasionally patching the holes in my Studio Ghibli film list, and that was one of them. That was fun. Yeah, nothing that really stands out as like a winner for me. I'm actually curious when the last time I gave... What was the last film I gave 5 stars? I don't think that's a fair comparison, actually, because now I think about it, I don't think I've ever actually given 5 stars to a new film. I think the only 5-star films in my thing are the ones that I already knew were 5 stars before I watched them, or before I added them.
Like what?
Well, like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
Sure.
I pretty much never give a 5-star rating to a film, even if I really, really like it, just because there's a part of me that's like, but does it deserve 5? So for me, 4.5 is the practical 5-star cap. And the last time I gave a film that was in 2023. Wow. Been 2 years since I watched a film I thought was that good. That's kind of a shame. But anyways, Yeah, nothing I can... That's kind of it that I can think of. I don't even... Here's how it's embarrassing, is I don't even know what I have read this year. I'll tell you what is sad is that I'm on track for the lowest books read in a year than I've ever done since I've started doing that challenge. I have no excuse for that other than sheer incompetence, I suppose. Because even last year I was way behind, but I found a cheat that allowed me to do it, where basically all I read towards the end of the year was just I caught up on a bunch of Shakespeare and Greek drama, because they were short. But I also enjoy those, so I was like, hey, it's not exactly cheating. They're still culturally relevant. But I'm out of those now, and so this year I was like, I just had to accept that I wasn't going to catch up, and so now I'm on...
Read some short story.
Yeah, but the problem with that is I can't justify calling that a book I've read this year because it's not a book. I don't feel like I can use short stories as a way to pad my books in a year thing. The most I can do for that is I've read compilations of short stories and called them one book in my head, because otherwise it just feels like cheating. And I already read all of my long-form Lovecraft stuff a long time ago. What have I read this year? Oh gosh, I feel like I just finished that. That was only in
What?
February. What? Oh no, I finished it in June. I started it in February. That's an indication of how badly things went. Yeah, that was the one book, probably the only book I would really remember as being good for this year was it's called The Fellowship, and it's about the Inklings.
Oh,
and so it goes into a kind of a biography of the life of several of them and how they sort of came together as friends. And other than that, I finished off the last few Greek dramas, and then that was it. I like to point out my goal for this year is 8, which is lower than it's ever been, and I am still massively behind. I'm gonna have to finish a bunch of stuff on the upcoming Christmas break, which is a shame. 2018, I started doing the Goodreads yearly challenges, and the lowest I had in 2018 was 10. And I've only gone up since then, and then this year I had to admit defeat. So I think I've officially peaked. You say this game was good, and I have no clue what you're basing it on.
Preference and nostalgia, probably.
I think it's a high-V dose of that.
High-V dose. No.
So, because what's the objective?
It's not dissimilar to Mario. I mean, what?
Well, yeah, but see, okay. We just talked about how I
just
wasn't...
don't like platformer, that's all. So
Well,
don't go blaming me when there's an entire era and genre that was dedicated to that.
But
This is just a more interesting
you just jump around and put on costumes.
You collect these gems, and each costume has its own kind of superpower, and it's cool. It's a cool motif.
Well, okay.
Plus,
I suppose
you get sucked into a game. One that I actually would.
So that's the quote unquote story. Is you're trapped in an arcade thing?
Yes, it's not. Yeah, it's Tron reimagined.
Yeah, I've never been one for games where the gameplay is all there is and there isn't a context to enjoy. Story kind of matters to me. A reason why I'm doing this.
Well, I would agree.
If the reason is just because, you had to get sucked into the video game cabinet because otherwise there'd be no game to play. It's like, well, okay, that's not particularly interesting. I suppose, I have fond memories of Banjo-Kazooie, and I don't know why, to be honest, because looking back, it does seem like the kind of thing I wouldn't have liked. Maybe it's just because that was, in some ways, you could argue, the height of the open-world platformer. Or maybe it's the open-world part of it. Might have actually been that, now that I'm thinking about it. Because the 2D platformer has never grabbed me ever in my life. Well, I say that. The one game we played a while back, the Doom meets Castlevania platformer game was fun. I did actually play through all of that after we did that one video. But I don't... That was slightly different because there was a much heavier focus on combat. Because you actually had to fight things, so it was more Castlevania-y
Yeah.
than straight platformer. I mean, Castlevania is a platformer, I suppose, but it's... I don't know. There was a heavier emphasis on fighting, and it had great animation and metal music in the background. So I think probably more of extenuating factors with that one. I don't know what makes me like or look back fondly on games like Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. Because I was never a fan of Mario 64, which
Yeah, that
would
one's never been my
arguably be
favorite.
the... I mean, that's probably the arch example of the open world platformer game.
That's probably true.
But it was my least favorite. I preferred Banjo-Kazooie for some reason.
Well, but that's not like... would you call that one a platformer?
Well, it's an open world platformer.
Sure.
A 3D platformer, because those were of a different stripe. Well, I have also hardly played any games this year, so this whole year in review thing I think was actually really a bad idea. It's just making me think I haven't done anything with my life. Tell you what I have done with my life this year, and that's work. The only things that excite me now about, what? Oh. Thought you were just running into sudden death. I can't even think of what I was going to say about what excites me in my life. That's the state I'm in. I've reached a point where the best part of waking up is Folgers and makeup.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't played any new games this year either, I don't think. I certainly don't think I've played any new games. Have I played any games at all? I mean, other than the ones we've done for this, obviously. And even that's escaping me. I don't even know what we've done this year. This year has in some ways gone by in a blink. I don't know why. I mean, every year seems like it does that when you get to December and you're like, I remember last December. How quickly time flies and all that. But
Last Christmas, I gave you my...
what have we recorded since then?
I'm sorry to say, but the Hog Nelson version of that song was one of the worst things that ever came
Okay,
out
I'm
of
sorry.
their
Hang
album.
on. Sorry, what? I'm not sure I can I don't think I can parse what I've just heard.
The Last Christmas song, when they did that version, it was not good.
So this is a thing that happened.
You heard it?
I don't want to think that this is true.
It's true.
That hurts my soul.
It does.
I mean, they're not really Hog Nelson since Jason Dunn left, in my opinion, but
Oh, this was when he was there.
no, because he
yes.
left before that song was ever written.
That is not true. That song's been around for ages.
Has it?
Yes.
Why do I think it's a modern song then? Was there a modern version of it that everyone
Probably.
sings? Is the version that everyone hears, is that the new one or is that an old one?
I don't actually know.
I don't want your stupid two-step verification in my life.
Let's talk about that new topic.
No, I will not verify that it's me. I logged in with my own password. That's verification enough for you. Son of one. I'm not gonna... So you're gonna make me sign in
Where I
again.
get the weird mummy hands trying to grab a hold of my buns.
Well, stranger danger, kid.
Literally. Oh, it just killed me.
You are
Stranger danger's
an
right.
ugly butt.
This is an ugly... What is it even? It's a Franken hand. And a stupid Franken hand. Are you kidding me? I just died again.
So it's gonna make me log in again because it didn't trust me the last time I logged in. I want it on a t-shirt. I heard it a long time ago. And it's just every year it becomes
No,
more and more apt.
Dumb.
I want my machines dumb and unfriendly. I have to attribute that to the Adam Savage podcast from literally probably a decade ago. But I cannot... Every year it just becomes more and more true. It's just like, I actually want the machinery in my life to shut up and do what it's told.
How about that?
I could go in misogynist directions with this, but I won't.
Not unlike, no. That's terrible to say.
I'm just saying. It feels like the ultimate, it's just modernity has gotten so bad. Used to be the case you'd tell the people you'd tell people that to shut up and do what you said. Now I'm having to tell my machinery to shut up and do what I say. Pretty soon, there'll be no one left to tell to shut up.
People to say anything to.
Okay, and then it's just not going to log in. I hate you. So it doesn't trust me. It's going to make me log in and then not log in when I sign into it. What have we done? Call of Duty, obviously.
He's the best guy ever.
Arkham
Get
Asylum.
to throw axes. I'll use him forever.
Oh, right. We haven't played Shadow of War in a long time.
That's true. Did we finish that one?
No. Wow. Yeah. All we have done really is... Let's see. All we have done is play Shadow of War, Chrono Trigger, Batman, and Call of Duty. I think we're stuck in a rut. There's no new stuff to play, so that answers my question. I haven't played anything new. Well, we did actually, okay, we did this one indie game that I haven't played since.
What was that?
The Pale Beyond, I think it was about a ship in the Arctic. People started going mad, I think. I haven't played that since. But that's the most new game I've played. I would like to play games in the same way that I'd like to read books, but apparently I'm just incapable of doing that. I don't think this counts as this year because I think this was just at the end of last year.
No, I didn't want to have to change, you stupid.
It's weird to think about the fact that Arcane Season 2 came out a year ago now. That was my benchmark for this season last year. Doesn't actually say... I don't know when we played this. It may have technically barely qualified as this year. But probably it was last year. Anyway. Well, turns out we haven't done crap this year.
What else to do?
Well, that's new
Except
for me.
This guy trying to do his dirty work.
Do his dirty finger on you. Yeah.
If I'm lucky, Mr. Talent will rub his tentacles on my art. Get up there.
I half expected you to commit to that bit, but you didn't.
I did.
Oh, you know what I mean.
What do you?
You don't just quote the bit, you have to make the bit fit the context. Nope.
There, you dumb.
I don't think Nilla wafers are great for structural support. Well, I guess the question is, how do we make sure
Top
that...
man, I got my top man now. Oh, he's
what
not
kind of
top
Ghostbusters nonsense is this?
man. That's exactly what it is.
Ghostbusters meets Power Rangers. There's a crossover nobody wanted. Except a bunch of people who were born in the 80s. Who unironically like Transformers. So I suppose the real question is, how do we prevent next year from being the same way? How do you make sure that you actually do stuff with the time you have in life?
Oh, that's not actually doing anything. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, neither are we. That's what I'm trying to solve.
This guy sucks. Okay. Apparently,
everyone knows dragons are immune to radiation.
Apparently, his little radiation gun does nothing to no one. What was the point of that?
It's like Epstein, don't you know? Under Skull Mountain 2. This sounds like a crappy Cinemax film.
It looks like a crappy Cinemax film now. Mother freaking Jason! For those of you guys that don't know, this is Kid Chameleon. It's a very weird niche game that not a lot of people knew about because it was Sega. And Sega hasn't done a lot of things well in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Then again, nobody's doing things well these days. I don't know when we're gonna get back to half decent things in life.
I don't know. Maybe never.
Well, I don't know that I agree with that assessment. Because there's a certain, I don't know, it's a little bit fatalistic. Some people, because I've seen, nothing damages a valid point rather than overstating it, or more than overstating it. So there's sometimes people try to, like I've seen people writing certain sort of synopses of various, you know, I remember when Arcane came up, people were like, oh, we'll never have another show like this again. I'm like, okay, even I, who openly profess to thinking that it is quite literally a perfect piece of cinema, wouldn't go that far, because that's just like, is it going to be a long time before something of equal quality comes out? Yeah. So, I mean, I suppose the worst that could happen is I won't be alive to see the next thing that's as good as that, but I do believe something's going to happen like it. And in the same way, I do think culture writes itself. I don't mean that. I mean write as in R-I-G-H-T.
It corrects itself.
Yeah,
sure.
so it's like things suck now, but they're not going to suck forever just because people don't put up with things sucking very well.
Just like me.
Well, the game puts up with you sucking just fine, but
But the people watching us may not.
well, it's true. If we did this forever, people would stop watching. Proving my point. So eventually people will figure out how to make things not suck. It's just a shame that we lost the information on how to do that. But this is what you get when you don't pass on generational values and wisdom.
You get somebody doing the same for, I'm gonna lose time.
You get numbers over your head counting down to your inevitable death. See, if we all had that, I think we'd live different. What's actually happening is you're Benjamin Buttoning your way. This is your age. When you hit 0, well, I won't say what happens. Can't be spoken of in polite company. Wow! I'm actually astonished.
I mean, I knew where the flag was, but there's just a better way of doing it. I didn't want to have to rush through it because I was trying to find... It's a bit like the Mario thing where you can find the thing that skips ahead like 10 levels. That's what I was trying to do, but it is difficult. And now look at him. He's... I have to be this stupid guy.
What? Prussian Skeletor driving a Panzer?
Russian skeleton.
Firing skulls, no less.
Isn't that a pretty picture? Prussian Skeletor in a Panzer.
Well, I mean, this is quite a strange mashup of things. It's like, all right, well, what should one of these outfits be? Well, everyone knows that the coolest thing kids want is a tank to drive around. Okay, all right, we can make that work. But what about making it a little bit more, I don't know, pizzazz? How about we give them a skull face? And just, for some added historical benefit for all the dads in the room, we'll give them a Prussian war helmet. And then there was a goth guy present, and he insisted that the tank has to shoot skulls because that's a thing that could happen. Are these amethysts hurting you when you jump on them?
Yes, because that...
Everyone knows nothing's pointier than an amethyst. All those crystal people will tell you. Whoa, I'm having some kind of
Raskolnikov may have.
I'm having some kind
Nice amethyst.
of having some trippiness with the lava down below.
Well,
By that I mean I've got horrible diarrhea.
not much to say about the year in recap. other
Under
than
Skull Mountain 3.
We're still.
It had a lot
just
of,
as bitter and cynical as before, and
Oh, probably more.
the answer is it's gonna get worse.
The answer is more. Man, yeah, that's what I was saying. Before we gotta redeem before we sign off. How do you make it not be this way next year?
You gotta
Secret
play
is
new
to
things
skin
and-
them first.
do close up hatches.
Plug your nose.
Plug your nose.
I tell you, I want some of these skull carvings on my house.
want some
You know
of
what I
these
want
skull
is I want
carvings
that
on
as a
my
bottle
butt.
opener.
You utter buffoon.
I suppose you could get 2 real compelling cheek tattoos.
What?
Each cheek is one of those skulls, and it looks as though they're nibbling on your bum.
I don't want nibbling tattoos.
Well, your own comments would seem to disagree with this assessment. That'd make a killer bottle opener, though. You'd be the top guy at all the raves. Do goths go to raves? Am I getting my subgroups mixed?
I don't know. I think we ought to play. The next one we ought to play is a game called Comic Zone, and that one is great. Not great like this one is. I'm talking great on a whole nother.
Haven't you also tried to make me do that one?
Maybe. That one's
So is my
genuinely
opinion gonna be the same?
good. Probably.
And what was it? I forget it.
It's about a guy that gets sucked into a comic and then he has to fight his way out.
So it's just this, but with a different setting. So instead
Yeah,
of being
but
sucked
he's
into
the
an
artist.
arcade. Okay, so it's self-insert fan fiction.
Maybe.
There's definitely. I won't go there.
There's definitely what?
It's just things and self and inserting all happening together.
Talking about Arcane again.
I don't even want to know how you'd make that parallel, but no. Saying so you were talking about self-insert fan fiction, and all I'm saying is there's some corollaries.
What about capillaries? All right.
That guy looks like he's
need
looking for the
to
bog.
jump your bones.
He's talking about flaming diarrhea. He's making puddles.
All right. Well,
Diarrhea is so bad he burst into flames. Well,
There you go.
let's see about not
we're as
sucking
old as
so
Sega
much.
now, so we'll try to be better.
I don't
We'll
actually
try to
know
be
how
better,
true that
much
is.
like Sega.
I'm not as old as Sega.
I am.
Well, good for
I'm
you.
older than Sega.
I don't know. Okay. I actually don't know how old Sega is, so I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I just know they're older than me.
Well,
I'll tell you, I'm as old as Ocarina of Time, which is an easy thing to remember. I don't know why, but it is. Wow. That guy. What? Okay, is he like 12?
yes.
Why is he acting like this? Is this what 12-year-olds were like in the 80s? 1992? This is far too 80s to have come out in the 90s.
Well, we'll try to do better. That's all we're gonna say. That's all we can promise.
Pink Power Ranger? What? What?
That's my favorite guy. He's spinning top head man.
You're sure he's a man?
Top hero.
Well, this is not filling me with confidence. We're going to have this exact conversation next year, but it'll be worse.
We'll be looking at this exact same screen too.
That one will end with 2 abrupt gunshots.
What? Okay.
Might have been a bit too jarring.